Paolo, you have a deep background in customer experience. Since ChatGPT came along, we've been kind of waiting for this moment when everything kind of changes and becomes conversational and generative AI really takes hold. Where are you seeing things progress right now?
That's interesting. It's progressing on many different fronts, right? Certainly on the creative front with the generation and the fusion models that are coming out of with this generative AI wave. But then also from the text perspective and being able to kind of distill things into more human-readable language, I think that has been transformative in our ability to actually garner insights from massive data sets in a far faster way than we've ever been able to do. So if you think about what a knowledge worker would have to do, even just as little as 2 years ago, today what they can get to and how fast they can get to those insights is really transformative.
Are you seeing, I think some people wonder / worry about whether the way that marketers will present themselves online and publishers is just going to look entirely different, the navigation is going to be completely different, and we're going to have to rebuild everything. Is that where we're going?
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think, this technology, like most technologies, is really providing kind of a supercharged capability around what your area of expertise already is. So we always say that this is going to supercharge and provide superpowers to our creative teams. It's going to accelerate our ability to get to insights faster and get better results and outcomes for our clients. So I don't think it's necessarily going to change everything, at least from a workflow perspective, but it will dramatically increase the speed. And like with all technologies, consumer expectations have a tendency to increase exponentially compared to what technology is available. If you think of any technological revolution like the mobile phone or even the internet, these things actually created far more jobs, more content, the need for these things to meet those consumer expectations. So I think it's going to shift and pivot in certain areas, but it's not going to dramatically change what we need to do, which is ultimately drive outcomes for our clients.
When you mentioned creative, and I think you mentioned some of the expectations people have there that, we might not have any creative people anymore, or we're going to lose that human touch or that creativity, that it's going to be all machine driven. I'm imagining that's not playing out that way and isn't likely to in the next few years.
No, absolutely not. The trick is going to find the perfect balance between human intelligence and machine intelligence, right? And creativity, ultimately is just intelligence having fun, right? As Einstein stated. So creativity is always going to have a mix of humans and machines that's going to drive true differentiation, which will ultimately drive those outcomes that our clients are expecting.
How does this, if at all, change the way that agencies have to be built and structured and the different kind of talent and workflow systems that they're going to need to incorporate?
Yeah, I think those that are willing to kind of explore different territories and look at different ways of doing very discrete tasks, I think those are the people that will excel. I mean, I think it's been said thousands of times over the last year that people aren't going to get replaced by machines. It's people who know artificial intelligence are going to replace those who don't. And I absolutely agree with that. I think that we're living in a world where AI and machine learning is ultimately going to be instrumenting everything that we do and everything that we see and everything ultimately that consumers do and see. So facilitating kind of the outcomes, which is ultimately sales, more sales for our clients, that is going to be all part of that entire ecosystem.
Lastly, if you're a marketer that's kind of been maybe overwhelmed by all this new noise or just not sure where to get started, do you have any advice for them?
I think it's to start with very specific use cases. So take some of the things that you're doing today and figure out, well, how does AI affect these specific tasks or these specific workflows? And then attack it from that perspective. Because it's hard, you need something tangible to actually apply to. And then of course you need to take into consideration all the different things that, frankly are still unanswered as it relates to generative AI. The responsible use of it, the copyright and intellectual property around this all. So ensuring that you're kind of looking at it from a multidisciplinary perspective legal, ethics, creative, strategy, and activation. All these things need to come together and drive your campaigns.